delighted to have you around at this moment. I'm Okonjo Christopher Television on YouTube, and I'm happy to be live with you at this time. Whatever part of the world you are connecting with me from at this moment, I want to say welcome and have a nice time with me at this time. I'm telling you, one thing you're going to do for me as you stay tuned to this live stream, please make sure you like the live stream, make sure you subscribe to my channel, make sure you press the notification button so that each time I drop a video, you go watch it. I'm telling you, I just dropped a video and I call it "These Killings Must Stop." I was bearing my mind on the present state of my nation, Nigeria. I mean, the situation of my country. Nigeria has become a zoo country. I'm telling you, the rate of killing in Nigeria is bad. It's not something to write home about. Visually every day that passes by, I mean, people are being killed in this nation. The ones they can account for and the ones that cannot be accounted for. You understand what I'm saying? So every day, virtually every day, people are killed in this nation. Nigeria is no longer safe again. It's no longer safe. I remember those days when I was growing up as little boys. I stayed in the quiet town of Jos City. I can still remember vividly those days, when people sleep and they don't lock their doors. Can you remember those old days, those old good days when boys were boys and men were men? You understand what I mean? We'd sleep in our houses and we don't close our doors. Can you wind back to those days when we don't bother to close our doors and we forget to close our door, we don't even bother. But now people are even closing their doors, barricading themselves. Miscreants are breaking the security and coming in. So our world is so porous right now. It's not like those days, no matter how you barricade yourself. So we have come to that time where scriptures are coming alive. In Psalm 127, it says, if God never watches the house, the watchmen watch in vain. Psalm 127, I remember very well. We used to read those psalms very well, and I think scriptures are coming alive right now. If God never watches the house, no matter how number of security you put in that house, I'm telling you, they will still break in. That is the season that we find ourselves right now. Scriptures are fulfilling themselves. Our only security, is in God. No matter any part of the world you find yourself, there's no security anywhere. I bet you, my brother, there's no security anywhere. The world has gone porous. The Bible will not lie. The Bible will not lie. When it used to tell us that, so it said we only know the signs of the end time. Even Jesus does not know the end when he's coming back. So when nations will go against nation, fathers shall rise against their sons, mothers against their daughters. I'm telling you, that is just the beginning of bed pain. That is not the end. So the end will only come when the word of God, the very word, undiluted word of God, is preached to the uttermost part of the earth. He said that is when the end will come. That's to say that God has sworn in his word that he said, my word, he said, my glory shall cover the earth as the water cover the seas. So we will definitely have to wait for the glory of God. We will see it. God has sworn, and the word of God cannot be changed. The word of God cannot be altered. The word of God cannot be submerged. The word of God cannot be put under. It says, my glory shall cover the earth as the water cover the seas. Do you know how water covers the expanse of the earth? Up to 70% of the earth is made of water, in case you don't know. It's only 30% of land that we have that is spread for us to express ourselves as human beings. 70% of the earth is covered by water. So God said, my glory shall be like that. Shall cover the earth as the water covers the seas. So God does not mind his word. He said the end shall only come when his word is preached to the uttermost part of the earth. So once again, I welcome you to this live stream. If you're just joining me, it's a privilege to be with you at this time. My name is Okonjo Christopher, and I'm broadcasting or reaching you from Okonjo Christopher Television in YouTube Reaching you from the FCT Kubwa, close to Abuja, the federal capital city of Nigeria. Once again, I welcome you at this moment, and I want you to stay connected to this channel. Tough times, life is tough. Life is tough. Yeah, that's my title for today. I don't mind whoever will come on live this moment to chat with me. I want to tell you that life is tough. Life is really tough. Tough times don't last, but tough people last. Tough time don't last, but tough people do last. So that's to tell you that in this life that we find ourselves, there will definitely be tough time. Whether you like it or not, God has promised us that we'll go through situations and circumstances. So when we see ourselves going through situations of life, we must come to agree with the word of God that says, there will be tough times in this earth that we find ourselves. You see, what goes up must come down. What goes up must come down. Tough times, what goes up must come down. There's a title I gave in that thumbnail. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. When the going gets tough, that's actually my title proper. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That's what I'm trying to talk about today. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Yeah. So when you find yourself in a tight situation and that you cannot come out of it, it's not the time to retreat. Because in anything in life, there's no retreat, no surrender once you are set on the journey of life. No looking back. Have you ever found yourself in a tight corner that you cannot help the situation? Things are just tough. Man, you can't help yourself. Man, situation of life is hitting you on all sides. You're not finding it easy. And hello, how are you? You're welcome. I don't know what part of the world you are connecting with me from, but I'm happy that you are joining me at this time. Please, can I know what part of the world you are linking with me from? Can you just like the live stream? Can you also subscribe to my channel? Can you press the notification button? I have a video right now on my stable. I titled it, "This Killing Must Stop." Actually, this killing must actually stop. I'm referring to my country. Every day in this country, one soul is killed. One soul is killed every day in this country. And you know what that is? Every day in the country, Nigeria is not safe. There's no security. So it has become so loose and porous. So it's only God. Our security is in God. So I'm talking about tough time. Tough times. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So you see, in life will treat us so tough that we cannot help the situation. I'm telling you, we've seen some people go through situations in life and they feel they cannot help it. I just have to take my life. But I tell you, no matter what situation you go through in life, there's no good reason for you to end this life. Because God has promised us that we'll go through tough times in this life. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So in the mix of when things are tough, it's only tough people that keep the going. Get the tough, get going. That's what it means. So tough people don't give up. So I use it to look at what is happening in my country, Nigeria, right now. I'm telling you. Nigerians cannot help themselves. I'm telling you, when I see the situation of the country, I cry every day. Prices of things are going up. The government is inflicting themselves on us. Nobody can talk. We have been pushed to that place that we cannot complain anymore. So it's like, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That's what we're experiencing in Nigeria right now. When the going is getting tough, the tough gets going. I'm telling you, that's what plays itself in my country right now. Like what I borrowed the word of one late musician, Fela. He said, the people of Nigeria, they are suffering and smiling. 99 sitting, 49 sitting, 99 standing. He used an example of Molue. Molue is a boss in Lagos, where people hustle and bustle in the Lagos lifestyle. They wake up in the morning to go to work by 5 a.m. and they are back by 12 in the night. That's Lagos life. I don't know how those people live there. So you see, life is just, I don't know what to say, call it. So life is is when you're going to get stuff, the top gets going, you don't complain. Because you find yourself in a tough situation, you just ask God, how do I get out of here? I just keep using this myself as an example, just what happened to me last year, 2025. I'm telling you, it was a tough time for me, and I can't. Used to be saying a song that always calms you down. Yes, a song that always calms me down is a gospel song. When I remember the beautiful things that God has done in my life, it calms me down. So gospel song that reminds me that God is faithful. Yeah, God is actually faithful. I see God is faithful in all dealings with humanity. God is faithful. So I remember last year, 2025, my wife went through two surgeries last year, one major one and a minor one. And it's not easy. She just celebrated her birthday last week, and last year at this time she couldn't celebrate the birthday because she was in pain. But rather I would say, well, thank God for life. If you can only be alive for you to say God is faithful. It's only a living soul that say God is actually faithful because He kept you. So let's talk about it. That's the reason why we celebrate birthdays. Actually, we celebrate birthdays because we see that our life was secured in God throughout the years. Especially in where I find myself in Nigeria right now. We can only say that God is faithful each time we will sleep and wake up. It doesn't matter where you live. Anything can happen. So we should always have that at the back of our minds. Don't say where I'm staying is secured. No. I'm telling you, we all cannot be, affected at the same time. But wherever you find yourself and you are secured, it is in God that you are secured. It's not in your strength. Because anything can happen. I keep saying it. Just like what happened let me use an example in Rukuba Road, in Jos, and one Rukuba in Jos, where people were killed. You could be in Abuja and business took you to Jos. And the verge of you going there, you find yourself in Angwan Rukuba, and you were intercepted in that confusion that happened, and you were killed. So what will you say? You will not, and you are coming from where there's safety in where you are, but something carried you to travel there. So what I'm trying to say is that our going out and our coming in is by His grace. So everything that we live these days, our life is intertwined. It's by the grace that we go out and come in. So we know it's the grace of God that has kept us. It's not by our might, it's not by our strength, but it's by the Spirit of God that we live. So our security is not in ourselves, it's in God. So anyone that God has secured is secure indeed. So I want to say that tough time don't last, but tough people do last. And when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So it is said that it is only tough people that can manage tough time. That is where we find ourselves in the situation of life right now. The Bible said it said in these days, if the days are not shortened, even the very elect will be scarcely saved. It said when the days that we find ourselves right now, because wickedness is multiplying, I'm telling you. Where we find ourselves right now, wickedness is on the increase. And God Himself said, He said, if the days that we find ourselves right now is not shortened, He said, even the very elect will be scarcely saved. And that's where we find ourselves right now. So it's in a mix of these trying moments. Those that still keep themselves going with the trying moments are the ones that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So because you must have to tell yourself that you will not die in this. Because we know in every situation, God will definitely make a way. So I was telling my story. Last year, my wife did surgery twice. And towards the end of the year, I remember, my wife did surgery in end of March 27. She was healing as a surgery. She did fiber surgery, and again 2 months after, she did another surgery again. So to correct something. It was just the grace of God that spared her life. I'm telling you, I went through turbulence. I will not forget that moment in a hurry. But God saw me through all that. And after that, November, we leave the place where we were staying because we have to live there because the where we're staying was sold out, and the new landlord wanted to build, so we have to leave. I carried my family to a lodge guest house. We were living there, and I was paying bills. You know, it's not easy.